She unlocked the door, took one step onto her front porch, and saw a small box lying on the stoop. The package was about the dimensions of a shoebox, wrapped in plain brown paper with her name on a label. Otherwise, it bore no address, no return data, nothing to indicate the carrier. Strange. Kathy reached down to pick up the box. Now that the dog was taken care of, she needed to get back to the office. Then again, she couldn't turn loose of the situation with the box. She wasn't expecting a delivery. Had Darren ordered something without telling her? No, that would be totally out of character for him. If he'd purchased anything, whether a small household gadget or a new car, he would have discussed it with her. Even if he'd done it on his own, he would have alerted her to expect it. And there'd be a label on the package. She really needed to leave right now. But her curiosity fought with common sense, and her curiosity won. Before she could change her mind, Kathy took the package inside and headed for the kitchen, where she rummaged in the junk drawer until she found a pair of scissors with one blade partially broken off. Using the intact half of the instrument, she removed the plain wrapping and cut through the tape that held the box closed. When there was no explosion, she let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. Kathy dug through the packing peanuts in the box until she found what it contained. A cell phone. By now, the dog had become interested in Kathy's actions. He stood, stretched, and trotted to station himself beside her, where he watched with his head canted to one side. Meanwhile, Kathy hesitated over the package. Had Darren arranged for a loaner phone to be sent to their house while his was being repaired? But she'd talked with him last evening on his cell phone, and it was working then. And wouldn't a loaner or replacement be an iPhone such as they both used? This was nothing like that. Matter of fact, she'd never seen one exactly like this before. Kathy looked at her watch and decided she'd deal with this after she got home tonight. She was about to put the phone back into the box when it started to vibrate in her hands. She almost dropped the instrument. Surely this was a mistake, probably a wrong number. The caller ID was no help. It showed a blocked number. She decided to ignore the phone, but found it impossible. Kathy finally pushed the button to answer the call. The voice she heard had a mechanical quality. The caller obviously was using a voice changer of some sort. Nevertheless, the words were clear enough. "Dr. Hoover, don't hang up. This is deadly serious. Carry out my instructions, or your husband will die." She couldn't believe what she was hearing. But this didn't appear to be a mistake. The phone had been delivered to her house. The voice addressed her by name. So far as she knew, her husband was in Washington, D.C., attending a conference. Yet the voice was threatening his death. Kathy's first thought was to call Darren and check on him. The next words that came through the phone made her wonder if whoever was behind the voice could read her thoughts. "Don't bother calling your husband. No one will answer his cell phone." "But," the voice continued as though Kathy hadn't responded. Maybe it was a recording. Probably so. "I'll call you later with more instructions. Keep this phone with you at all times. If you do as I say, perhaps you'll see your husband again." Just as Kathy prepared to ask a question, there was one more message from the electronic voice. "Don't tell anyone about this call. And if you're thinking of replaying this message for the authorities or anyone else, don't bother. It will erase itself in 10 seconds. A click in her ear signaled the end of the call. Kathy stood for another minute, holding the dead phone, wondering what to do now. Her hands were shaking.